Beyond 3D.
Happy holidays, bienvenue, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond 3D. Matt here, Studio 2, along with Clint at RWP 98.7, 98.3. Clint, how was the week?
Lonely, Matt. Hello, everybody.
Lonely.
It was lonely without you last week.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. It's been busy. It's silly season, as most people know, here in Australia and around the world, actually. It's when everybody gets together and spends too much money on stuff that they really don't need for kids and for others as well. But, hey, it's been a weird year. I can't say it's been a great year. It has been an absolutely newsworthy year as far as everything has gone on. But, hey, that's the way it works. So, Christmas time has arrived.
Can I just say, off the back of last week's show, we played an interview with William Tompkins. I did say last week that that was going to be a two-parter, and we were going to play the second part tonight. But I totally forgot it was Christmas. I honestly did. I forgot it was Christmas.
It's Christmas, folks.
So we will play the second part of that interview next week on our last show for the year.
Which would be like New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve year.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. 2016 can't go soon enough as far as some of us are concerned, but hey, once again, it's been one of those kinds of years. But for us, it's been a very good year as well, insofar as we've loved presenting this to you, and Clint's done a fantastic job with the editing suites and every week, and it's greatly appreciated.
And the grey hairs are backing up. I've got the grey hairs to prove it.
I hear you. Oh, my.
A lot of people, everybody wouldn't be clued into the amount of work that you and I put into this.
Don't tell them.
No, it's irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of sort of doesn't matter, but
we enjoy it.
It's a lot of fun, and next year is going to be even more fun and more work.
I can't wait. I'm
so
excited.
That'll be really good, especially if we get into video, which we should. At least on YouTube and a few other places.
Everybody wants to see me talk on here. I've got a head
No, not just like that.
I've got a head like a half-chewed twisty.
Yeah, you and me both. And mules. No, more along the lines of, with all the so-called, in the United States at least, fake news that is supposedly out, and the fact that they have put $180 billion into having people basically become... what would it be, like the Ministry of Peace in Babylon 5, or like the Tal Shiar in Star Trek or something like that for the Romulans and things? They're going to basically monitor.
Are you about to go
no,
off
I'm
on
not,
a tangent?
Because I've got no tangent.
Ready to go.
No tangent. Just saying that's basically what they're doing. They're coming up with basically a thought police.
It's like there are organisations out there that run, like you said, fake news, but they do shows like we do, but they present disinformation.
Yeah. Sometimes. And sometimes they're just presenting information and people can take it as it is. The ones that they're talking about in the States are not necessarily fake news channels. They're truth tellers, in my opinion, half the time.
Sometimes. And sometimes those truth tellers are speaking from a good place, but the information... And sometimes they're not. And the information that they're getting sometimes is a bit twisted and incorrect as well.
Yeah. Well... a few of the things you have to deal with, but look, next year is going to be a great year. We're going to get our website up and running and deal with a lot of things. And
it's almost done. I promised everybody. I know, but I promised everybody I'd have these podcasts done and ready to go for the holidays.
Yeah, they will be. When the time is right. They will get there. So that will happen. We're going to have a lot of fun next year coming up with Beyond 3D, so that'll be great. It's great news, and we appreciate everybody hanging in there with us and enjoying the show as well. Saturday evenings has gotten a lot weirder, but a lot better, and as we would like to do for you, it's about information, it's about letting you know what is going on, and it's about talking about things that you won't necessarily hear in certain circles. And that does not mean that information is not valid. Sometimes the truth is held from you for a reason. So this year, a lot of interesting things have gone on, some very negative, and there's been a lot of talk about terrorism and things like that, and we just had a truck plowing into a market in Berlin, a Christmas time market in Berlin, hurting a lot of people, murdering a lot of people, in my opinion, and injuring a lot of people. That kind of stuff is going on in and around the world, and it actually came a little bit closer to us because there was a situation this morning. An announcement was made by the Premier of Victoria, the head of the police of Victoria as well as the federal police talking about the fact that they thwarted an attempt at a similar thing in Melbourne that was supposed to happen on Christmas Day.
Unless I am able to access the pure information on that alleged incident, I'm investing no belief system in what you just said.
Okay. Because it could be fake news?
Thank you. Thank you for being a free thinker. It is interesting. It's a rare thing to be a free thinker.
Well, that is what was announced. And as some people in the US are saying, if you want to see what real fake news is, listen to the mainstream news.
Fox,
ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, etc. And they also mentioned Sky News along those lines.
You know what I saw this week, which I found incredibly funny? Trevor Noah from Trevor Noah from The Daily Show played. I've got it here. I'm going to play it for everybody in a second. It is, in essence, the purest. It's like a bullet of truth being shot from the Trump gun. And I need you to listen to this because I can't present it as well as Trevor Noah can.
Let me ask you a question before you run this tape. I just want to ask a quick question. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. Does this have something to do with nuclear?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
So it wasn't his tweet of a couple of days ago?
No.
About what he wants to do in the nuclear area?
This is Trevor. This is Trevor Noah talking about Truth Trump.
Fair enough.
And Trump actually coming forward, talking to all of his supporters about the things that he came forward during his political race to the top, all the things he talked about, like sending Hillary to prison and drain the swamp and all that. You got to listen to this because Trevor Noah plays Trump recanting on all of his promises and telling everybody he didn't mean it.
Gotcha.
And it's awesome.
Interesting.
Have a listen to this.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for 2016 to end. I am so done with this year. This was honestly one of the years we can remember. And on top of that, it was a leap year, so there was an extra day of To be honest, only an outsider would be thankful for a year like this.
President-elect Donald Trump kicking off his thank you tour, visiting the key battleground states that helped secure his win against Hillary Clinton.
Of course, the worst year for us is the best year for Trump. You know, when we lose, he wins. It's like he owns one of those cleaning companies that only cleans up crime scenes. It's like, oh boy, triple homicide, cha-ching! And I thought the thank you tour was a waste of time. Honestly, I did. Until I watched it. And I realized that the thank you tour is actually some of the most important speaking Donald Trump has done all year. Like yesterday, Trump was in Wisconsin, right? And in between thanking the voters, he also gave us a glimpse of his true relationship with the Speaker of the House.
Speaker Paul Ryan. Where's the Speaker? Where is he? He has been, I'll tell you, he has been terrific. And you know, honestly, he's like a fine wine. Every day goes by, I get to appreciate his genius more and more. Now, if he ever goes against me, I'm not going to say that, okay?
I get the feeling that when Trump says Paul Ryan is like a fine wine, what he really means is that he wants to lock Ryan up in a basement for like 40 years. You got to read between the lines. But what stands out in that clip for me is not the compliments, but it's how blatantly Trump admits how empty his words are. Just watch that last part again.
I get to appreciate his genius more and more. Now, if he ever goes against me, I'm not going to say that, okay?
Yeah, you see that? Straight up. If Paul Ryan is like a fine wine, then Donald Trump is like a fine meth. Yeah, just a little, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? The guy's blatantly saying it. I like him now, but if he goes against me, I won't say that. I won't say that. And this is not actually a new thing. What we're seeing here is a character I like to call Truth Trump. You'll notice it if you watch him closely, right? The Donald voices some political opinion, and then Truth Trump slips out and tells you the real deal.
You've been hearing me say it's a rigged system, but now I don't say it anymore because I won. Okay? It's true. You know, now I don't care. I I don't care.
You see? It throws everyone off. Because politicians aren't supposed to be honest about their lying. Right? You don't even get mad, you just get confused. You really do. Imagine if your boyfriend was like, baby, I didn't go to the club, I was home. Unless you were home too when I was somewhere else, then that I was somewhere else, that doesn't make you mad. I mean, that's the thing. But I wasn't at the club. And now with this tour, Trump is finally admitting that it was all bull. He's admitting it blatantly. Take Hillary, for example, right? Trump spent the entire campaign saying that Hillary was a dangerous criminal who had ruined the country. And for that, he was gonna lock her up. People chanted it. They held up signs. He even said it to her face at a debate. It was the one specific piece of policy he had. But now that he's got what he wanted, Truth Trump tells it like it is.
Because I heard my opponent had scheduled Michigan unexpectedly. It was like all of a sudden with President Obama and Michelle and Bill and Hillary, and they were going to Michigan. No, it's okay. No, forget it. That plays great before the election. No, we don't care, right?
I'm sorry, what? He even says it plays great? Just, it plays great before the election, but now we don't care? Yeah, like everyone else was doing this for real and he was just playing, he was just testing it out? That's not even the biggest surprise. Because look, I can get going hard on your opponents, right? But Trump's campaign's central appeal was that he was an outsider. A man whose main mission was to drain the swamp. He said it all the time. He was going to get rid of the lobbyists and get rid of Wall Street money and give DC back to the people. But Truth Trump, he tells it like it is.
We're going to drain the swamp of corruption. Funny how that term caught on, isn't it? I tell everyone, I hated it. Somebody said, drain the swamp. I said, oh, that's so hokey. That is so terrible. I said, all right, I'll try it. So like a month ago, I said, drain the swamp. The place went crazy. I said, whoa, what's this? Then I said it again. Then I started saying it like I meant it, right? And then I said it, I started loving it. And the place loved it. It's drain the swamp. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's true. Drain the swamp.
You can feel the audience is going like, are we in on this? I genuinely don't know why this isn't the biggest news story. The man is saying that the basic promise of his campaign is Schultz. And he's saying it right to the people who believed him, as if they knew it was Schultz. And for some reason, all of this is happening after the news stopped covering his rallies. Now he's telling the truth. Just like running out there, going like, it's all here, folks. This is how I did it. You know what Trump is like? He's like a magician telling everyone how he did the trick. And still some people are like, wow, magic. It's magic. Ooh, magic.
Beyond.
3, 3, 3. Well, like every other politician before him, that's the way they do things to get elected. It's a shame, really. That pisses you off after a while.
I love the way that Trevor Noah presented that, because it was like it was him giving you the impression of what the people in the audience in front of Trump were feeling. It's just gold.
Well, folks, being that the Electoral College has officially put him in, get ready for a lot of fun in 2017 going into 2018. It's going to be very interesting.
Or dig a shelter.
Well, I won't get into the things I've heard lately, but I will tell you what.
No, come on. You can't sit there and... I hate it.
I'll tell.
I hate it when you do that.
I'll tell.
It's like you want to say it, but you don't.
Trump isn't really the problem.
Okay, you've got my interest now.
The white-haired man is the problem.
Bernie?
No, the other white-haired man. Vice President Pence.
Pence.
Mike Pence.
Okay. Why?
You remember The Matrix?
I do.
Those two...
We were in it.
The Matrix 2, the second movie with the two white-haired dudes.
Yes.
They're saying he's a nasty piece of work, that man.
Okay.
And he's biding his time. Not biding his time.
To
about to ascend.
It reminds me of the rule of two with the Sith in Star Wars, how the master and the apprentice, and eventually the apprentice kills the master. Mm-hmm. Is this what you're saying? You think or believe, or you've heard that? Is this what you've heard that Mike Pence did?
No, not that he's planning to a coup d'etat of sorts. That he's willing to wait a certain amount of time so he can then become the president of the United States, and then the real proverbial stuff will hit the fan.
Do you know what the age difference is between the two?
I have no idea how old Mike Pence is. I can always look that up, though. Donald Trump is 70. So Mr. Pence is... born in 1959.
Pence.
So he's 57.
Okay, he's young.
Yeah. So interesting. Very interesting. We'll see. But it'll be a fun year. It'll be fun. If not deadly. Anyway. Clint, I had tried to talk to you earlier, but there was something you were doing.
It wasn't.
And it's something that I want to do, but I'll ultimately get to do it.
You can do that anytime you like.
Yeah, I could, but I didn't. Certain things take precedent, and that wasn't one of them right now.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, you saw Rogue One.
I did. I'm fresh out of it.
Yep. Comments? Critique?
Is it too early to spoil?
Nope.
No, hang on. No, serious. Is it too early to spoil? Have we given people enough time to go and see it?
Yep.
Okay.
You don't have to give out any
No, I don't.
major,
I don't.
whoa moments, but you can let people... Most people know the story anyway, because it's almost a backstory or a side story.
To A New Hope.
Yes, exactly. To the first Star Wars movie.
Well, let's catalogue it and give it a number.
Okay.
It would be 3.5. Episode 3.5. Mm-hmm. So it nests in between episode 3 and episode 4.
Right.
Okay. Yes,
Would it?
Yes, it does.
Would it?
It nests in between episode 3 and episode 4.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
No, that's a line out of episode 6.
Yeah, but it was about the fact...
That's a line out of episode 6 in regards to the second Death Star being constructed.
The second Death Star?
Yes, Matthew, the second Death Star. In episode 6.
So what was her name? Mon Mothma?
Yes, was talking about the many Bothans that died, bringing them the plans to the second Death Star.
So then you're talking about the first Death Star?
Yes, thank you, Matthew. That's why it's episode 3.5.
Okay.
But
Yeah, but
when the curtains widened on the screen and you were like, yes, here it comes. Mm-hmm. There was no John Williams fanfare. There was no Star Wars, the yellow writing coming up on the screen that says Star Wars and it fades out, and then the crawl,
yes, absolutely.
No crawl.
No crawl. Oh,
no crawl, just went straight into the film.
Okay, how many people were you in the theater with?
Now, mind
full,
you,
half full,
well, hang on a second.
Full,
mind you, it's Christmas Eve.
Ish, yes it is.
It's Christmas Eve, so not a lot of people at the cinema. Probably about, and I didn't go and see it in VMAX, and I didn't go and see it in 3D. I just went to a regular 2D cinema. Mm-hmm. A quarter full for Christmas
Were people
Eve.
upset?
Nope.
People weren't upset that there was no scroll, there was no boom?
No, none of that at all. Just go straight into it. Now, it fits seamlessly. It goes straight into episode 4.
Wow.
And my only critique of it is there's 2 human CGI characters in this film.
Right.
I think because of time and the more special effects films that we see, you go back and watch a film that special effects were made in the 70s or the 80s, and then you go and watch like an Independence Day. What was the last one?
I didn't see that.
Okay, let's just say one of the new Star Trek films. Your eye can tell the difference between seeing a movie that was made decades ago.
Yep, that's okay. Fair enough. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
My eye immediately could tell that the CGI human I was looking at wasn't human. They did everything they could to make him look human. Now, some people wouldn't be able to pick it. I sat there. Obviously, I know that Peter Cushing is dead. But they did a really, really good job of making him as human as possible. And if you can suspend your disbelief that he was a CGI character,
Right.
it's a great film. And all I'm going to say, two things.
Okay. One.
K2SO,
K2SO. Okay.
the droid
Right.
in this film, has all the best lines. He is an absolute cracker.
Okay.
And my second thing, for the first time watching a Star Wars film, they actually made Darth Vader scary for me.
Really?
Yes, he opens a can of whoop ass in the last 10 minutes of the film. And I sat there and I went, I have been waiting my whole life. Anakin Skywalker in the prequels,
Right.
on his best day, wasn't as frightening, even when he was losing his sugar, honey, ice and tea, wasn't as frightening as what Vader is at the end of Rogue One.
Wow. I'll have to think about that for a bit.
You can.
I will have to think about that for a bit. By the way, you owe me a movie.
I do.
A Star Trek movie.
And I've seen it. And I'm not impressed.
Which one? Star Trek Beyond?
Yeah. I was not impressed at all.
Okay.
I really dig the first one. I enjoyed Into Darkness. And my analogy for this Star Trek film, Star Trek Beyond, it's their version of Return of the Jedi.
But I heard the Starbase was actually very good.
Yeah. Again, the effects were fantastic.
Okay.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
But
You'll love it.
it's not that big of a deal. Is it forgettable? As in you see,
No.
you go, that was okay.
No,
but-
it's not forgettable
Okay.
because something really important happens in it.
Okay.
And again, they bring continuity from the old series back into it again.
Okay.
So there's some really, really cool nods to it. So you'll love it, Matt.
No, fair enough.
I'll give it to you next week.
Thank you. I want to see on disc. Yes. We only buy discs from proper stores. We don't copy anything.
No piracy.
Can't be happening. Can't do it. Just
we
sorry.
can't.
That's just not us. Nope.
No.
But yes,
Time for a break.
time for a break.
Beyond.
3.
Welcome back this week, everyone, to our second last show for the year on Beyond 3D.
Christmas version. Guys, for me, Christmas means a couple of things. Growing up in the States, especially in New York, there were certain television programs we used to watch. Now, you really looked forward to these because no VCRs, VCR is video recording, guys.
There's kids out there tonight going, what's a VCR? They know exactly what CERN is, they know what HARP is,
yeah.
but they'll go, what's a VCR?
Yeah, it started with tape, and then we moved forward to disc. But being that we didn't have any recording mechanisms, we used to wait and we used to watch certain programs. So at Thanksgiving, you would always watch March of the Wooden Soldiers with Laurel and Hardy in it and everything like that. At Christmas time, especially with Thanksgiving, you'd also watch a Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. Christmas time, you had to watch The Grinch.
Hang on, Charlie Brown's Christmas Story, is that the one where Linus is just constantly talking about the Great Pumpkin?
That was it. That's Halloween.
Okay.
The Halloween one. So Christmas, you have to watch Charlie Brown Christmas. You have to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You have to watch Frosty the Snowman. You have to watch The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
They're Rudolph and Frosty are stop motion animation.
Yes, they are.
With the little models.
Yes, they are.
I dug those too.
Yes,
so
they were really
much when
good.
I was a kid.
Burl Ives did the voice of Frosty the Snowman.
And he sang too, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He most certainly did.
Little Drummer Boy.
Hate that song.
Yeah, I know, but they had a stop motion as well.
I can't stand that song. And anything to do with it, so I don't worry about Little Drummer Boy. He can
What
bugger off.
What happened to you?
What?
What happened to you?
Why?
For what reason do you dislike that?
That song?
Yeah.
Because there was a friend of mine way back when who basically said, the first time I ever heard that song, it made me cry. And I went, you wimp.
I knew there was something.
And I'm like, get out of here with that crud. So now every time I heard that song, I went, you ruined it for me now. Go away. I can't listen to that crap. The other show that I always wanted to watch and we would wait for was Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
Was this a cartoon?
It was an absolute cartoon. Thurston Howell III from Gilligan's Island was also Mr. Magoo, Jim Backus.
Yes.
And he did, in my opinion, one of the best Ebenezer Scrooge series vignettes that you could ever come across. And being that is the way it was, there was always one song that I thought was just fantastic in it, and we always used to sing it and wait for it, and we could only see it once a year. So I thought the thing to do would be to bring that into our Christmas show so you guys can hear one of the things from my childhood that I loved listening to, and it's a lot of fun. So let's listen.
The charwoman, the laundress, and the undertaker. They're just blank, all bad.
And that reminds me of Christmas time. And it shows like that even today, because I can watch them with my daughter, we just love that. It's a tradition. It's nice, wholesome, funny. It's Mr. Magoo. You have to love it. So those are the kind of things I like from Christmas time. The memories that make it, the continuity that you can have from your childhood through adulthood. It's fun. And I used to wait once a year so I could hear stuff like that. Just absolutely fun.
Guess what I got for Christmas this year?
What did you get?
I'm going to play it.
Ooh, this will be interesting.
Take a listen.
Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. But if they're a benefit, it's not my problem.
Your job once. I was good at it. Things were simpler then.
Okay, now, I haven't even thought about Blade Runner.
How cool
When
was
did
that?
the first one come out?
1982.
Yeah, amazing.
And when I was teaching, I lectured on Blade Runner for about 6 years in my media classes. So I know that film intimate. The original, I know the original intimately inside and out.
Nice.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Cool.
I don't. That's one that I think everyone will have to see. Anyone, at least anyone that's our age.
So that's Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
Blade Runner 2049.
And I so love the fact that they've kept the same feel and the same music. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Jared Leto as well.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, 2017 is shaping up to be...
Rogue Who?
Yeah, exactly. Very, very interesting. Oh.
Yes.
We're going to have to look this up. Guys, if you know about it, just let us know as well. What have you heard about the new Peter Jackson film that will be coming out? Anything at all?
Hang on a minute. I didn't even know there was one.
The Lord of the Rings mob has a new movie coming out.
Please no. Not another Lord of the Rings Hobbit film.
It's not.
Oh, Mortal Engines.
There you go.
I think that's based on
Mortal Engines.
with Spielberg.
Philip Reeves novels. Anyway, that is what they're doing. So there will be...
Merry Christmas to anyone that didn't know anything about that and is super pumped.
I'll tell you what, very interesting. Set in the post-apocalyptic world ravaged by a 60-minute war, which caused massive geological upheaval.
Sounds like Blade Runner again.
There you go. To escape the earthquakes, volcanoes, and other instabilities, a nomad leader called Nicola Quirkus installed huge engines and wheels on London that enabled it to dismantle other cities for resources. This reminds me of a Miyazaki movie,
Howls
Castle in the Sky.
Howl's Moving Castle.
That too, but Castle in the Sky insofar as
LaPuta.
They had LaPuta. They had the floating cities. So
LaPuta.
we get to do that again. That'll be interesting.
Al Bielek
Yeah.
talked about that.
He did. Was that the 700 years in the future or something like that? He went to one of those cities.
That was now.
Oh, I'm doing this. This is ridiculous.
No. I'll tell you because that was
Episode 8, 37 shows ago.
so.
Season 2, Episode 8.
Al Bielek talked about floating cities in the future.
Well, there you go. So I saw that it was going to come out, and I was looking forward to that. I said, if they do a solid job with it, it'll never be Castle in the Sky. But then again, it doesn't need to be. 2137 to 2749 with Al Bielek. Another thing, there have been some really guys. I'm liking lately Secure Team on YouTube.
Tyler has been really good.
Yeah, and he's had some really interesting videos coming out lately that he's been getting from around the world. So guys, go to YouTube and look up Secure Team 10. I know we talked fake news earlier, and there are a lot of sites who just basically they're looking for clickbait, but in this instance, that is not one of them.
No.
He comes up with some really great videos, and there's some fascinating things going on up on the moon that they have found, and there are some fascinating things that they have found. They had a brilliant one over Maine a couple of days ago.
I like the fact that we've been talking about Antarctica a lot lately, and this week, guess what's been in the alternative news heavily?
Antarctica.
Yeah. And we've been talking about it all year.
Yep. So there you go. So a lot of interesting stuff going on. So YouTube, Secure Team 10, really good site. Gets a lot of good videos out there and lets you decide as well. But it's really been interesting.
And if you'd like to join our Facebook page, it is Beyond 3-D.
Indeed. And you will find a link to a few Secure Team videos on our Facebook page.
We've got lots of stuff on our Facebook page.
Absolutely. So guys, get out there and listen to that as well. Go there, look at it, enjoy it, imbibe it, start doing some research. And also, please, write in if you have a certain person you know in Australia or New Zealand in the area that you think would be a great guest. Leave us a message on the Facebook page and let us know, and we can start doing some research to see if we can get them on the show for you.
Because we've got plenty lined up for the new year.
Yes.
We're going back to getting people on air, aren't we?
Yes.
That's good. And we've run some pre-recorded interviews a lot this year, towards the end of this year. But that's only because scheduling with our guests.
It is holiday mode, folks.
Not just that, you and I sometimes when we do an interview, we have to get in here at 3 a.m. sometimes, don't
Yes,
we?
because a lot of the people on the northern part of the planet, different time zones, guys. That's the way it works. But we digress. Check out our Facebook page. Check out Secure Team 10 through our Facebook page as well. You'll enjoy the videos you get to see. Really well done.
Anything else you'd like to discuss tonight, Matt?
You know, it's Christmas time, so I think that's about it as far as I am concerned. But we will have a New Year's Eve kind of show coming up, and we can get more into, I guess, a review at that point in time.
Now, last year, we played Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. This year I have something special. Thanks to Steve from Soul to Soul, he has provided us with a mashup tonight of Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds, which is the one we played last year, mashed up with the original Orson Welles broadcast of War of the Worlds.
Nice.
So on behalf of Beyond 3D tonight, Matt, you and I would like to present to our listeners our annual War of the Worlds.
Indeed. Enjoy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Catch you next time.
Beyond 3D.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century,
no one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century
this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man.
that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space.
We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns,
No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that
swarm and multiply in a drop of water.
few men even consider the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us.
Just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.